save our planet, California on the verge of water rationing. The U.S. state of California's Department of Water Resources has stated that snowpack in the Sierra Nevada mountains is at 67% of normal. Although officials have not started water rationing, residents are being asked to reduce lawn watering and to plant native, drought-resistant trees and shrubs instead. Mike Chrisman, the state's resources secretary, stated, "We need to recognize that we're in a water shortage and begin to act accordingly. We applaud your actions, California leaders, for encouraging conservation methods to help ensure that all receive adequate water. May your efforts lead to plentiful resources for the sunny state."
7-year-old swimming wonder asks for clean and safe waters. After swimming across the Mactan Channel at age 6, Justin Daniel Junio of the Philippines contacted the Environment and Natural Resources Secretary, Lito Atienza, to describe to him the polluted state of the waters. He said to Mr. Atienza, "Please help my generation to have safer waters to swim in." Minister Atienza, for his part, had been making efforts to raise awareness about cleaning the waters. "We offer our warm congratulations, Justin Daniel Junio, for your God-given talent and your voice to help the planet. We also thank Minister Atienza and pray that your lovely country is restored through the efforts of all people to her original pristine beauty."
U.S. Department of Energy offers grants for solar thermal technology. Solar thermal technology, also referred to as concentrating solar power or CSP technology, focuses the sun's rays using mirrors, which then heats water to run a steam turbine or engine.
U.S. Secretary of Energy Clarence Albright stated, "The administration's investment in solar technology will not only bolster innovation, but will help meet the President's goal of making solar power cost competitive with conventional sources of electricity over the next 7 years." U.S. Department of Energy, we laud your efforts in helping advance sustainable energy from the sun. We look forward to a day soon when all energy is clean and green.
Estonians engage in first national cleanup. An Estonian civic group, Let's Do It, organized a nationwide rubbish clearance campaign using Google satellite maps and internet registration. Last Saturday, tens of thousands of Estonians collected metal, glass, plastic and other items from streets as well as forests and riverbanks. Kudos, Let's Do It organizers and all who took part in this selfless collaboration. Thank you for showing us that we can combine efforts and make our planet a better place for all.
èå², Vietnam, sets aside funds to renovate polluted rivers. The government of èå² is allocating $205 million to 12 different projects for cleaning the contaminated Nue and Dai rivers. Experts say that portions of the rivers are technically dead, and if no action is taken within 10 years, they will not be able to support plant or animal life. Our thankfulness, èå², for taking action to revive your vital rivers. May we all continue to take measures to protect our life-sustaining waterways and ecosystems.
Prize offered for world's greenest person. Canadian professor Boyd Cohen at Simon Fraser University has sponsored the contest to raise awareness about the individual accomplishments that are possible in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Applications submitted to the professor's website, thirdwhale.com, are evaluated based on a range of personal choices that include housing and transportation as well as diet. The winner of this green competition will be awarded the symbolic adoption of a pod of beluga whales registered through the US-based organization Defenders of Wildlife. Bravo, Professor Cohen. What a novel way to raise awareness for reducing global emissions. We look forward to hearing about the green lifestyle winner.
Sri Lanka launches Climate Change Secretariat. At a forum of the of Environment and Natural Resources, a department to oversee the country's environmental policies was inaugurated, along with the Sri Lanka Carbon Fund. Speaking at the meeting was the country's Prime Minister, Ratnasiri Wickramanayake, who highlighted the urgency of global warming and the need for immediate steps to benefit the planet. A big thank you, Sri Lanka, for your environmental focus. May the constructive actions of all result in a fully habitable world for our future generations.
USA's California governor discusses climate change with Lloyd's of London. Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lord Levine, chairman of the insurer Lloyd's of London, met in California last week for talks of partnering to address global warming. They spoke about the insurance aspects of climate change as well as other topics. A green salute Governor Schwarzenegger and Lord Levine for bringing together government and industry on the immediate challenge of climate change. We pray that leaders from all fields become involved in this most pressing issue of our time.
The Arctic warms while the Antarctic cools due to human causes. An international team of researchers from the UK and US have explained the different effects humans are having on the poles.
In the Arctic, human-generated emissions are creating rapid warming and melting of ice. By contrast, as explained by Gareth Marshall of the British Antarctic Survey, the majority of the Antarctic, except the Antarctic Peninsula, is experiencing chilling winds. Supreme Master Television asked scientist Dr. Mark Cerise and Dr. Ted Scambos from the U.S. National Snow and Ice Data Center, NSIDC, to explain these different phenomena between the two polar regions that are occurring due to global warming.
It's predicated on a very, very important number, freezing point of water. 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 Fahrenheit, whatever you want to look at, that critical number. Yeah. And right now, even 20 years ago, you'd have part of the year where most of the Arctic was at or above that critical point. But we warm it up just a little bit. Now all of a sudden you start to greatly extend the length of that melt season. Right. So things can really get going. So the Arctic has always been closer to that tipping point, okay, than the Antarctic because it's closer to that critical number, that critical freezing point number.
The Antarctic is also affected by global warming, but at a slower rate because of its sheer size among other factors.
And even though a tiny part of Antarctica is engaged right now in this faster flow and warming, it's still having a significant contribution. Greenland is having a very significant contribution. And of course, warming of the oceans themselves is also starting to have a big effect. And this is all about the sea level rise part of the problem. Antarctica tends to react more slowly, but it's a much larger area of ice.
Both poles conditions attest to how natural climate variability and human-caused global warming are combining to create further climatic changes around the globe.
You'll probably see, for example, an accelerated hydrologic cycle, because we were talking earlier that you warm it up, you put more water vapor into the atmosphere. Right. Well, water vapor, that fuels storms. Right? So you would have, for example, more severe weather events.
We are grateful, Dr. Scambos and Dr. Cerise, for your ongoing efforts to help us understand our current climate systems. We especially pray that we can stabilize and protect both the Arctic and the Antarctic polar regions, which are critical to the rest of our planet's future.
Scientists at the U.S. Department of Agriculture state that farmers will need to learn to adapt to constant changes of temperature, drought and pollution due to global warming effects.
Leaders from 18 Central and Southeastern European countries convened in Macedonia to discuss energy challenges and enduring sustainable solutions.
Singapore's Loyang Tua Pek Kong Temple donates 3,000 kilograms of rice to 600 grateful families in need through its Grains of Love program.
The Asian Development Bank announces it is extending $114 million in financing to China for projects to boost energy efficiency.
As chairperson of the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA, Kofi Annan encourages global food crisis resolution through immediate humanitarian aid as well as longer-term development measures.